How do you become a more intelligent person? Cultivate curiosity. I believe curiosity is the difference maker. I don't know if curiosity is the cause of higher intelligence or an effect of it, but attempting to be more curious is never a bad endeavor. See how I wasn't afraid to say I don't know something? Final paragraph explains this. Try to want to learn more all the time. Be curious about how things work. From the details of business culture to the assembly of a Ferris wheel. Never be content with what you know already. Don't believe yourself. Question your own beliefs regularly as an exercise. When you find out your beliefs are wrong, simply change them and be okay with it. Changing your beliefs isn't weak, it's power. When smart people don't know something, they tell people and seek the answer. Less intelligent people hide their lack of knowledge as though it's shameful and handicap their search for knowledge because they think they have to somehow not get caught having a lack of information. Huge mistake. Smart people have no problem saying I don't know this, loudly and proudly. Big time. I went out with this one guy, a very successful doctor, who lacked any intellectual curiosity whatsoever. By the end of the second week he was recycling his stories. Conversations with him went nowhere. He lacked any interest or curiosity in the topics I would raise. He was like dating a potato. I cannot reconcile this with him being such a successful doctor. My brother, who works in healthcare, says many times people in medicine work so much they never learn anything else, so they can be quite provincial, his word, in their thoughts. That said, we live in New York City and I expected a lot more. He also used this poopy line to try to get me into bed. We are not kids anymore, as though I didn't need to be choosy. I'm not sure the rationale there, but it annoyed the frick out of me. I see smart people on Reddit all the time. They are not the people you guess though. Intelligence is all around us. What's difficult is seeing it. The most intelligent people I've seen on this site are often the ones who come in with a major attitude and a point of view most others disagree with. Sometimes they are even the ones that say stupid or douchy things that make them seem like morons. The key, though, is that they are willing to debate and talk with other Redditors without getting offended when their knowledge is questioned. They are open to new information. They are willing to admit when they are wrong and are open to criticism without getting defensive. They are the people who say something ridiculous and then when questioned or attacked, keep an open mind and continue the conversation because they listen and learn and change. I also see stupid Redditors. They are the ones who think they know everything and get extremely upset and resort to insults anytime anyone questions their point of view. Intelligence doesn't mean knowing everything. It means being open-minded, willing to listen, and able to respect a good argument, even though it doesn't align with your own core beliefs. We all come from different places and have different experiences. To me, intelligence is the ability to take in another's experience without judgment and learn something from it without getting defensive just because they happen to believe differently than you do. Those are the conversations I learn the most from. We can all be open-minded. We are just taught N. I'm seeing a lot of people say red, which is only part of the solution. Real growth comes in the form of discussing ideas and concepts with other people. Having intellectually open and stimulating conversations with other people is the only way I know of to solidify that you actually know what you think you know. It's easy to convince yourself that you understand something, only to have that understanding fall apart when you try to explain it to someone else or have an actual conversation about it. Read, yeah, but then find someone else who knows about the same topic and talk about it with them. Become a critical thinker. Beware, Reddit as a whole is wonderful for general trivia knowledge, but lacks almost anyone who will critically think and talk through an issue. This means asking questions, lots of questions, and exploring an idea or really anything at all from many sides. That means looking up and reading different things about it, following trails of breadcrumbs through the wild wide menagerie that is the universe. Maybe you'll find a picture that inspires a song, or an essay that moves you to become an activist, or a good group of people who really challenge you on many levels. The key is to turn that critical thinking into a journey, and it's impossible to stay unintelligent when you boldly walk many paths. Reading and years of debating helped me develop my intelligence, as well as playing strategy games, reading maps, doing various activities, scouts, karate, swimming, badminton, etc. If you draw wisdom from only one place, then it becomes rigid and stale. Drawing wisdom from all of the element and the four nations is what makes you how. Yes, that quote is from a cartoon, but it is good advice. If you want to become more knowledgeable, then looking in various places is a good way to do it. Every person you meet or talk to will be able to tell you something you don't know, so talk to people. That way you can learn about the world. By the conventional understanding of intelligence, it is thought you cannot increase your upper limit because it's genetic. However, it is thought that few people actually even reach that limit because few train their brains hard and long enough and maintain it to attain that level of intelligence. With that being said, you can advance yourself by first looking into what kind of challenges you actually have an aptitude for. This could be spatial reasoning, mathematical/musical thinking, creativity, logic, communication, inter and intra, acquiring knowledge, interesting knowledge, etc. The list is very long. After you understand what you feel you have a talent for, and I mean that within you, not compared to others, then you can work hard on it to improve it. For example, you feel that logic come naturally to you, but not so much mathematics, rather verbal logic and reasoning. You grab philosophy texts and read as much as you can. You try to push the limit by forcing yourself to understand concepts that seems completely nonsensical at first. You ask experts, you Google, you do whatever you have to do. When you're done, you go further to more advanced texts. Then you practice analyzing texts meant for verbal reasoning testing, like the section on the MC80 for example. Then you try to synthesize your own ideas and build on them. You try to build your argumentative skills, and so on. This kind of plan may be extremely different if you have a talent for another form of intelligence, so you have to customize it. But the theme is, find a talent in a very basic form of intelligence. Build the skill by reading and practicing. Start very simple and get complex later. Try to specialize the talent into an application. In the above example, you can start getting into law, or writing or critiquing and so on. Try to make your own work from what you learned. Never stop. Read a lot. People think I'm smart and witty, not my words, and the actual reason is that I read everything. Fantasy, biographies, non-fiction, and self-help occasionally, historical, comedy, lots of news from various sources, old books and new books. Currently reading some George MacDonald and Manit Syslog, blogs on various subjects, and business news/market updates for my job. I'm not really that smart, but I can talk about almost anything with at least some authority, and that's a great way to come across smart. If you define intelligence as the ability to learn, then there are some ways to improve your intelligence. It's still more nature than nurture, but some things do seem to make a difference. As others have noted, mental exercise, reading, doing puzzles, writing, researching all condition the mind to learn more readily. I think the way you approach new concepts makes a difference too. Learn and master the fundamentals first, and then add complexity. Often what is considered complexity is really just a host of fundamental concepts working in concert with one another. Understand that about 80 to 90% of what I was forced to learn and accept was garbage in order to unlearn that and relearn what should have been taught from the get-go. A lot of my character are built off bad information, so I had to pretty much destroy that person and build from the ground up. Except this time I got to choose the building materials and the finish I wanted. Going from dry rot built on sand to reinforced steel built on reinforced concrete was a very long and painful process, and still building, but definitely worth the energy. In my opinion, cultural acceptance and understanding are key to becoming a more intelligent person. If you learn more about foreign cultures, religions, etc. with an unbiased lens, you are far more likely to appreciate the people from those places, and they are more likely to appreciate you for making efforts to understand them. In reality, lots of people with racist/xenophobic/homophobic attitudes just don't have enough knowledge about those cultures to respect them properly, and education can make a difference in their outlook. General intelligence is improved via sleep, exercise, and a healthy diet. A low glycemic index diet may be best, but the jury is still out on that. Deficiencies in some nutrients such as iodine can impair intelligence, but you are unlikely to suffer those in a first world country with a healthy diet. So far there is no intelligence pill. Caffeine and stimulants help with focus and tiredness, but show no improvement in IQ scores. Prolonged use can bring on adaptation. Withdrawal is common if you decrease usage. Much of intelligence is really domain expertise. Study what you want to be good at. K. Anders Ericsson has several good books and articles on expertise.